Good evening, everyone. It is July 30th, and this is Nightly Newsy News with Mo. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing all of the mod things, and Puddletown, welcome, and thank you so much. Good evening, Nanny Goat, and Brenda, and Jedi Jess, and well, just everyone. Welcome. We have a sad headline story starting out tonight. Unfortunately, a third young girl has succumbed to her injuries in the stabbing attack at the Taylor Swift themed dance class in Southport, UK. Now, I've been following this story, and there is a lot of unrest around this area. Welcome, Tamara B. Uh, and it looks like there might be some civil unrest going on in Southport right now as a reaction to this. I think people are getting very, very upset with sort of this becoming commonplace in the UK, and I think that things are bubbling over. It will be interesting to see how the new Labour government deals with this tragedy and what they intend to do to stop it. But let's get into the article because unfortunately, another little girl has passed away. A third young girl died early Tuesday from the previous day's mass attack at a Taylor Swift themed dance event in the UK. Alice Agyar, 9 years old, died in the hospital in the early morning hours, Merseyside police said, while identifying the two girls who passed away Monday as Elsie Dot Stancombe, aged 7, and BB King, the youngest, at just 6. 5 of the other 8 children injured remain in critical condition Tuesday, as do 2 adults that were injured while trying to save the children. And I didn't pull this story, but there was a story of a gentleman who worked in the office adjacent, and he was stabbed in the leg, but he ran in there and uh, tried to save those kiddos, and he got a stab wound in the leg, and I guess, from what his wife was reporting, he was just so upset that he couldn't do more, that he couldn't save more kiddos. And yes, I am in fact Mo in the deep end. I'm just getting all of my wigs. I got a brand new stack of wigs, so I have to wear them, otherwise they won't be tax deductible. But this is unfortunately the young girl that passed away today, and then, these are the 2 young ladies that passed away yesterday. It's just a terrible story, terrible, terrible. No words can describe the devastation that has hit our family as we try to deal with the loss of our little girl, Bebe, the 6-year-old girl's family said. Aguiar's mom, Alexandra Aguiar, shared an emotional tribute to her princess, Alice. In this moment of great pain, my soul hurts, my body hurts, my mind hurts. I have a lump in my throat. You are an innocent child, a happy, smiley girl with a bright life ahead of you, which a despicable human being took away from you without pity or reason, she wrote on Facebook, according to the Liverpool Echo. And I will say that there have been just a phenomenal outpouring from the community, and we have this terrible, terrible thing that happened, and we can choose to look at the darkness of that, or we can choose to look at the people who are leaving flowers and bracelets, and some people that, bicycled, many miles just to bring something, just to show family support. I don't know if that will actually, lead to any policy change, but I'm sure it has to be helpful to these parents to realize that other people are trying to support and take care of them. Look after your mom and dad who are suffering, who are desolate and broken. Fly high, our little star. I love you, the grieving mom added. A GoFundMe for the family started by the Brunridge Care Group, where one of the slain girls' parents worked, raised over $1,400 as of Tuesday morning. Alice is the daughter of one of our team here, and she has been a part of the Good Companions family since she was a baby, joining with our many activities and events with our families and staff, the fundraiser notes. I mean, and from what I have heard, from people that are describing this scene, it looked like a horror movie. I mean, it was just terrible. So I really do hope that these kiddos get, uh, therapy, their family gets all the support. I know that the legal system is different in the UK, and while I had commented about them not giving any details about the suspect, apparently that is the general way in England when there are people that are underage. So because the suspected, assailant is under 17, he all of his identifiers are basically left out of the media. So, that is something that I think people are finding frustration with too. I will try to keep you guys updated on this story as well as our next story, which is Venezuela may be, we may be getting rid of Maduro organically, well, or revolutionarily, or futuristically, as Sarah Boone would say. Venezuelans clash with police after disputed election result. Security forces in Venezuela have fired tear gas and rubber bullets at people protesting Sunday's disputed election result. Thousands of people descended on central Caracas on Monday evening, some walking for miles from the slums on the mountains surrounding the city towards the presidential palace. Protests erupted in the Venezuelan capital the day after President Nicolas Maduro claimed victory. Uh, the opposition has disputed Mr. Maduro's declaration as fraudulent, saying that after reviewing 73.2% of voting tallies, it is clear that its candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez, won convincingly. Good evening, Cynthia Fire Fairy and James Forbes. If I didn't say hi to you in audio coffee, yeah, it ideally the government would do something to allay fears of these. While they might not be exactly correlated, the rise in knife crimes and, different pressures that the populace is feeling, uh, it's easy to see that, there are some big cultural problems that England and the UK, and by extension, America and the rest of the West are going to have to deal with if we want to continue to function as we have. And I think that, just sitting down and having an open dialogue would be great if we didn't have to couch all of our talk in ridiculous political correctness. I think if we tried to be respectful but just said what we were actually thinking, things would get done. But that's just my opinion. Who knows? Opinion polls ahead of the election suggested a clear victory for the challenger. Opposition parties that had united behind Gonzalez in an attempt to unseat President Maduro after 11 years in power, amid widespread discontent over the country's economic crisis. A heavy military and police presence was on the streets of Caracas with an aim of trying to disperse protesters and prevent them from approaching the presidential palace. Now, I will say, in an update to this, fairly recently, I was just watching a Tim Pool update. It looks like some Venezuelan police officers are actively right now taking off their riot gear and joining the protests. Statues are toppling. I mean, I think that this is a runaway train. I think that you can only be a fat dictator while your country starves for so long until you're politely either kick the hell out or something else bad uh you know pops up. So hopefully we can get something sorted and people can you know the thing is, it's all fun and games until the military makes a decision. So it will be interesting to see if the military is going to side with Maduro and decide to crack down on everything, or if they are going to say, "You are deathly unpopular. We do not trust you. You are no longer the president. We go with the opposition leader." I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that things are popping off. So, As much as it's light-hearted here and things like that, do be aware of your surroundings. I feel like we are entering the fast forward cray-cray of, 90 days before, certain elections happen, and I think that it is going to be like 2024 to Spinal Tap 15 in these coming months. I don't want to be right. I would rather not be insane, but, you know, I am worried that things are going to go into uber crazyville. So just, keep an eye on things and make sure that you've got, supplies at home. Crazy civil unrest doesn't happen, but, floods and thunderstorms and things do. I feel like, sticks, hex, and hammer, but, just try to keep that in mind in the next couple of months that I have a feeling things are gonna go to super crazy levels. Well, for us ladies or gentlemen or zimzers out there, Olympic fans can't stop looking at the French divers revealing swimsuits, and, I can't imagine why, you guys. What do you mean? You guys, what am I looking at here? I give up. Uh, apparently, we love France. This wasn't the attention French diver Jules Boyer was hoping to get while competing in his first Olympics. The 22-year-old has the internet buzzing in the 2024 Paris Games with a snapshot of him in his diving swimwear went viral. Many seem to be distracted by his unmentionables under his red, white, and blue swimsuit instead of being focused on his aquatic skills in a recent meet. I mean, I'm just saying, can we give him the gold for that too? I mean, imagine if that was a sport. Could you imagine? Also, you would think with that, it would decrease the aerodynamicness and he would have a much bigger splash. I have no idea. I can't. Been crushing on Jules Boyer since last year. Glad more people are appreciating this beautiful man now, someone wrote on X. I don't give an F about the Olympics, but can someone tell me how when French driver Jules is on the TV these days, apparently it's all about Jules Boyer when it comes to the Olympics. He is a model. The French athlete who is also interested in fashion signed with Ford Models in Paris, and he landed his first editorial shoot with Athletica magazine. Well, John, if that one scared you, there's an even scarier picture that I find. What in the horrifying is this? Well, there you go. I'm settling on a less not the keyboard harmony. Boyer will dive alongside his teammate Alexander Gendard in the final uh, round of men's synchronized 3-meter springboard Friday. So, ladies, get your calendars out. I have mine right here. And I am just going to put French package on Friday. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just French Speedo attack Friday. Oh, Lord. Well, there you go. There's one of your Olympic updates. From Law and Crime, we have uh, a lawsuit against the runaway tractor trailer driver that fell asleep and crashed into a family's home. Yeah. A family is left without a mother and sister still reeling from their brother's critical injuries after a runaway tractor trailer smashed into and destroyed their home, a federal lawsuit filed in Tennessee alleges. On July 2nd, 2023, a commercial freightliner was pulling a utility box trailer heading west on I-26 near exit 36 in Irwin when a series of disasters unfolded. Robson Vertis, a Connecticut resident, was behind the wheel at the time under the employee of FFE Transportation Services, a Texas company, according to the lawsuit. Sleep permeates the mid morning catastrophe to come. Quote, plaintiffs Adware Singh, Jaswar Kaur, and Kandreep Kajar were sleeping in their beds, the 20-page complaint filed in U.S. District Court reads. Mr. Vertis fell asleep while operating the tractor trailer, causing the 2021 Freightliner pulling a 2019 utility box trailer to travel off the right side of the interstate across a grass divider over a paved on ramp, then down an earth embankment through a tree line, a metal fence, then across a paved driveway and yard, striking the plaintiff's vehicle and then crashing into the Singh family home. I mean, how the hell fast was this man going that he fell asleep and he went not only through the berm, but another berm, an on ramp, a freaking, gravel path? I mean, good Lord. This is probably the first one of these I've dealt with in my career, and I've been here 24 years. So, we've dealt with a lot of stuff extrication from vehicles to house fires. Irwin Fire Chief Jason Harris told Johnson City based ABC and CBS affiliate WJHL, but to have a road tractor trailer plow through a house, it made it difficult. The lawsuit cites the Tennessee State's Police Critical Incident Response Team report account for what caused the crash. Let's see. Kendreep Kahar, 31, and Jaswinder Kahar, 54, died as a result of the crash. The structure was quickly engulfed in flames, essentially destroying the home as well as the family's pet. Not only did the family lose two amazing women, they also lost everything they own, a GoFundMe explains. The younger woman died at the scene and suffered a litany of injuries from the crash and fire, according to the medical examiner. The older woman survived a bit longer, but suffered through exceedingly dire and grim circumstances during the final hours of her life. Adware Singh, the son and brother of the victims, was the only family member to survive the crash. As the tractor trailer careened into his home around 7:55 a.m. that day, the explosion caused by the collision caused him to be ejected from the second-story bedroom and to land several feet away in the front yard, according to the lawsuit. He suffered serious permanent injuries, including several spinal fractures, multiple rib and skull fractures that still require treatment. The lawsuit alleges negligence on behalf of Veritas, principal agent liability, imputing Veritas's alleged negligence to FFE, negligence on behalf of FFE, and the loss consortium attributed to both defendants. So basically, what they are alleging is that the trucking company was kind of having them fudge the numbers. He wasn't getting enough sleep, but they wanted those shipments on time. And I really do want to say I appreciate truck drivers that do a really good job being safe. I don't think I thought about it as much until my daughter started driving, that for the most part, truck drivers are paying attention to everything on the road and, teaching my girls how to be safe around them so they can see them. It just reminds me that this is really a job and, keeping all of those things going while driving a big rig. I have no idea how one does that. Thank you, Flux, for showing up. Good evening. So, I do hope that this family will get some compensation for their suffering. I can't imagine what they did and what they went through with all of this. But definitely, I think that companies should be held liable if they push their employees beyond exhaustion and things like that. In more Olympic news, oh Lord, I don't know how to say this guy's last name. He is American, but we're just going to call him Steven. Steven Nedroisk waited his whole life for one routine, and the U.S. pommel horse specialist nailed it. Now, I know you guys are going to be shocked, but I actually know what a pommel horse is. My mother may or may not have been an actual gymnast in high school. She unfortunately got stuck with a first daughter that really gave her a black jaw because I was trying to do a round off, and, let's just say, never try to teach Mo a handstand. This will never end well for anyone spotting me. Just never. It just won't. Sam, Mukala pulled Stephen Norrisk close and tasked the American pommel horse specialist with the impossible. The U.S. men's gymnastics team's first Olympic medal in 16 years was a solitary routine away. Sam told the pommel horse specialist he didn't need to go all out, that 80% would be good enough, even though Sam knew that, uh, you know, Stephen would never do anything 80%. You have to trick yourself, said Sam, a three-time Olympian turned coach. You have to make sure you don't let all the noise get into your head. That's usually isn't a problem for the 25-year old from Worcester, Massachusetts. It takes a certain type of single-mindedness to make the choices that Stephen has made for the last decade. When he essentially decided to dedicate himself to a single pursuit, focusing on an event that has long been a weakness for U.S. men's national team program. But there is monotony involved. How could there not be? I don't know how I don't lose my mind, Steven said before the games, but every day I go into the gym and there's still something to do. There's still something to improve. Not anymore, proving a point. He drilled his set during qualifying on Saturday to earn a spot on the event finals in the game, but Monday night things were different. Teammates Frederick Richard, Brody Malone, Paul Judah, and Asher Hong had put together 17 straight routines without a miss, putting our Americans in position to reach the medal stand for the first time since the 2008 games in Beijing. While Stephen had some wiggle room, the U.S. had a fairly healthy lead after Judah and Malone hit their sets before Stephen saluted the judges. He didn't want to merely hold on, he wanted to prove a point, not just to himself, but to those who wondered if he deserved to be there in the first place. What followed were 45 seconds of sublime brilliance, with Stephen's hands traveling from one end of the horse to the other and his legs swooping this way and that. Yeah. So his routine was really crazy. And don't ever expect, like I told my mom, I was like, why do you guys, this is never going to work. So he did spinny things and all the floaty things, and it was just fantastic. I mean, I don't know what kind of sadist masochist combination uh, invented this particular exercise, but that dude is a dick. Whoever invented the pommel horse really needs a blanket party, if you ask me. That looks horrible. A few feet away, his four teammates, the sizable contingent of U.S. fans inside Berkeley Arena, roared as a medal that seemed distant for a program that had finished a distant fifth on each of its last trips under the rings drew closer. By the time Stephen neared his dismount, he knew his job was complete. The celebration began before his feet even hit the mat. All those years, all those reps, both mental and physical, all the difficult times when he wondered whether to keep going, all those quirks he developed along the way, from non-prescription goggles he sometimes rocks to the chef kiss to the camera he occasionally makes, up to that moment. He did not miss, delivering an exclamation point with a 14.8666, or two sixes, not three sixes, uh, to finish. Yeah, the rings seem like impossible Superman kind of thing, though the rings kind of make me giggle because I know that my boys would try to do something weird with them, like try to do a handstand or something. That's how everything starts. Guys ending up doing weird stuff. That's why the pommel horse started. Some guy's like, I bet you I can do a handstand on that. And some other guy was like, Frank, stop talking, show me. Anywho, uh, Team USA all the way for men's, uh, I was gonna say Olympics, but it's gymnastics. So there we go. That between that and what the French are packing, freedom for all. I think the Olympics has made a full impression on Mo. Well, he's not a French diver, but Josh Hartnett said that he left Hollywood because he was being stalked by unhealthy fans. There were incidents. Like I said, he's no French diver, but he is Josh Hartnett. Josh Hartnett has revealed the reason behind his decision to leave the glittering lights of Hollywood despite a successful career on the silver screen. The actor made a name for himself after landing a series of hit films in the late 90s and early 2000s, including the 1998 film The Faculty and the 2001 blockbuster Black Hawk Down. Now, Hartnett has claimed he was being stalked by several borderline unhealthy, fans. Mr. Hartnett, I was more in love with cartoon characters, I'm gonna be honest with you, so I never stalked you. Uh, and that made him turn his back on Tinseltown for several years. People's attention to me at the time was borderline unhealthy, Harnett 46 told The Guardian. There were incidents. People showed up at my house, people that were stalking me. As a result, Hartnett and his wife, British actress Tasman Egerton, packed up and moved to Hampshire, England in a desperate change for scenery. Since then, he's only taken a select few roles, including the 2023 box office sensation Oppenheimer, as well as M. Night Shyamalama's upcoming psychological thriller Trap. So there you go. He's gonna be in an M. Night Shyamalama movie. It'll be great. Opening up about the stalking incidents, Hartnett said that when he was 27, a guy showed up at one of my premieres with a force multiplier claiming to be my father. He ended up in prison. There were a lot of things. It was a weird time. It wasn't going to be grist for the mill. He added, Hartnett rose to fame with films like Pearl Harbor and 40 Days and 40 Nights in the late 90s and early 2000s. In 2014, Hartnett said that part of his decision to stop making blockbuster movies was because he didn't trust anyone. I was on the cover of every magazine, he explained to Details at the time via US Weekly. I couldn't really go anywhere. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I was alone and I didn't trust anyone. Trap, sorry, audio coffee. The movie for M. Night Shyamalan is Trap, not crap, although we don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. The Minnesota native said his departure from Hollywood affected the kind of roles he was able to take on. I'd still get offered film and TV roles, luckily, but years ago, if I saw a role I wanted, there was a good chance I could grab it, he said at the time. When I see a role now, I've got to fight for it. It's not bad. It's actually more rewarding. Depressing when something doesn't go your way, but only for a minute. During his time out of the spotlight, Hartnett and Egerton started a family. The pair welcomed 3 children after tying the knot in 2021. So there you go. In the most Florida man of Florida man stories, and also I'm going to need Lord Chippy's assistant and nuclear physicist power generating team to work to wake up Lord Chippy because we have a contestant. Are you a blank? Florida man throws $15,000 in cash out of a car with a naked waist-covered child in the front seat, deputies said. Y'all, just when I think I won't see another headline that will make me feel like reality is broken, they get another one, and it's generally involving Florida or Wisconsin. Let's be real. Deputies in Florida responding to a reported road rage incident ended up tussling with a suspect who had thrown $15,000 in cash out of his windows. Marion County sheriffs responded about 6:30 p.m. Saturday to the area Southwest Highway 484 in Dunlun about a road rage incident. When a deputy arrived, he saw a man later identified as 38-year-old Jose Hernandez throwing garbage out of his car. The deputy walked up to the car and he saw a young child naked and covered in his own waste and unbuckled the front seat, according to probable cause affidavit reviewed by Law and Crime. Why was there a naked child with his own waist in the front seat? But it gets even better, you guys, because the next paragraph, there were also 2 pit bulls in the back seat, one of which was aggressive, the affidavit said. The deputy asked Hernandez to get out of his vehicle several times, but he would not do it. As the deputy was doing this, Hernandez dropped a $100 bill out of his pocket and claimed it wasn't his. He's like, "It's magic." After my 7th time of requesting him to speak with me behind the car, he rolled down the back driver's side window, at which time his pit bull climbed halfway out of the window, the deputy wrote. He asked, are you a cat? Are you afraid of dogs?" Hernandez allegedly told the deputy he, quote, "just fought one uh, like you," and got out of his car as if he was going to fight, the deputy said. The deputy got Hernandez to the ground, but the suspect kept resisting commands as cars on the road whizzed by, according to the affidavit. As they were tussling on the ground, Hernandez got up and allegedly said, "Are you ready to get run over?" The deputy tried twice to use his taser on Hernandez. The dude is like shirtless. How can you not tase him? The second time, Hernandez fell but quickly got up and ripped out the probes from his body and ran away. Hernandez also allegedly told his dogs to attack the deputies. As deputies searched around the car, they discovered that Hernandez was not throwing trash out of his car, but cash. They discovered more than $15,000 in various denominations, the affidavit said. Cops also found a bag containing 8.5 grams of the F, along with baggies to distribute, said Not Street Legal Pharmaceuticals. Hernandez is facing charges of battery on an officer, resisting arrest, neglecting a child without bodily harm, trafficking in fentanyl 4 grams or more, possessions of drug paraphernalia. He was taken to the hospital to treat his injuries and will head to Marion County Jail upon release. The relationship between Hernandez and the child in the car was not immediately clear. What the hell is a kid doing there? Why are there pit bulls that are aggressive in the backseat of a car with a child? And why is he throwing away money? I have all the questions and none of the answers except for Florida Man, which does answer the question, just like the Canton Constant answers everything that happens in Canton that doesn't make sense. That's just how we have to go with that one. In some actual good news, welcome, Haksua. Uh, we might have a new, some new hope in fighting Alzheimer's, of getting early detection and maybe early, at least care or treatment. A new Alzheimer's study is generating hope of early detection. A new study is offering hope for a simple and accurate blood test that can diagnose Alzheimer's disease in its early stages, the only time when current treatments work. The study led the group of Swedish researchers and was published Sunday in the Journal of American Medical Association, found that a test based on measuring certain proteins in the brain had about a 90% accuracy rate in diagnosing Alzheimer's in those first cognitive symptoms kind of arise. By comparison, primary care doctors and specialists had a 61 to 73% accuracy rate in diagnosing the disease. Currently, the disease can be definitively diagnosed only by more expensive and invasive tools, such as PET scans and spinal taps. The neurodegenerative disease afflicts more than 6 million Americans. The blood test in the study and others of its ilk are only available in research trials at the moment. Getting one to market and available in a primary care physician's office would represent incredible progress, said Corinne Pettigrew, an assistant professor of neurology at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, who was not involved in the study. This would allow patients to review options for treatments, learn about what to expect of the disease, and plan for the future, said Pettigrew, who leads outreach, recruitment, and engagement for Hopkins Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. She said the test would also be important for ruling out Alzheimer's as a reason for a patient's cognitive impairment, allowing doctors to seek and treat the actual cause. The study involved 1,213 people in Sweden whose average age was 74 and who were being evaluated because of cognitive symptoms. According to the paper, Alzheimer's is often misdiagnosed by primary care physicians and even specialists because of lack of or limited access to diagnostic tools. That prevents patients from starting treatments for those with early Alzheimer's, which might require test results confirming the disease. The higher the diagnostic accuracy of the blood test indicates it could be suitable for implementation in primary care, but future studies need to examine its effect on clinical care, according to the study, which was led by Dr. Sebastian Palmqvist of Lund University in Sweden. In addition to improving diagnostic accuracy, a positive test could further support initiation of widely available treatments. So this would be great. I would love to have earlier testing to get people, able to get this medicine. Now, this being involved in, the pharmaceutical, sort of big pharma, I wonder how long it's actually going to uh, take for this blood test to be approved, but I wish they would sort of fast track it because I think that that would be a great thing. And I have no idea what Chad is talking about. Sometimes I look up from these stories and I'm like, what in the world? Okay, we've got parrots and a cucumber. Okay. I love that I get distracted by my own chat. Uh, in another terrible driving story, but one that I think a lot of people were waiting to get, at least indictments on. This is the, older man, I think he's 86, who drove into a salon and killed, I believe, a off-duty police officer and several of the workers because he was drunk AF at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I think it was only his 86th, DUI. So got to get him at some point. Alleged drunk driver who crashed into a Long Island nail salon and killed four is indicted on murder charges, report finally says. So this is the gentleman who decided to drink all the Pabst Blue Ribbon before going driving for some reason. The alleged drunk driver accused of crashing into a Long Island nail salon and killing four people, including a young NYPD officer, last month has been indicted on murder charges, according to a report. Now, I will say that the arraignment, or when he was first booked in, that hearing that they have in front of the judge, the name is escaping me right now, but you heard the young NYPD officer's husband, or it was husband or fiance. I mean, he was just heartbroken, and it was such a hard watch. I was gonna watch it with you guys, but then I was like, "Nope, we are crying, and we don't need this right now." Stephen Schwally, 64, who prosecutors believe it previously said downed 18 beers before the tragedy, will be arraigned Thursday in Riverhead on a grand jury indictment that includes 4 counts of second-degree murder, according to Newsday on Monday. And this is what he did to the store. I mean, he just rammed right on the hell in there. Schwally is accused of crashing his Chevrolet Transverse into Hawaii Nail and Spa in Deer Park on June 28th while driving drunk and killing four people, including an off duty NYPD cop. Oh, no problem. No, I'm generally called so and so's mom, so it works. Captain Kern, good evening. Additional charges were not disclosed, but the indictment remains under seal, according to Newsday. Uh, Ren Hack, a newlywed herself, was getting her nails done for a fellow cop's wedding later in the day when boozed up motorists plowed through the local salon, killing her and three others. Janicia Chen, 37, Zhen Yu, 41, and Meizing Zhang, 50, authorities said. Renhack joined the force in 2018 and married a fellow cop, Carl Renhack, in September. The grieving husband made his first comments at his wife's funeral, attended by hundreds of fellow officers. Amelia held a lot of titles: wife, daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, godmother, friend, police officer. Carl Renhack said as he appeared to hold back tears. She was always so happy, he said, and her laugh and smile were contagious. In the court appearance earlier this month, Schwally was ordered held on $1 million bail on drunken driving charges in the deadly crash. The defendant's vehicle went through an intersection when airborne struck the curb in front of Hawaii Nail and Spa, navigated through one empty parking spot, and slammed into the Hawaii Nail and Spa's front window. Suffolk County Prosecutor Alexander Bopp said in court at the time. The defendant admitted to Suffolk police detectives that he had consumed 18 beers the night before and indicated he'd stopped drinking at around 3 or 4 a.m. Schwally, who is unemployed and living in transient hotels, is a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps and retired from a job at UPS, his lawyer said during that appearance. He's been busted for an earlier drunken driving incident in 2013 when he slammed into a mailbox in Dix Hill, rode off, and was nabbed asleep behind the wheel, records reviewed by the Post revealed. I really don't get why we give look, everyone's allowed to make a mistake, but drunk driving seems like the one thing where it is never the drunk driver that gets unalived. It is always a car full of like nurses and puppies and nuns and kittens, and I just don't like it. I really, really don't like it. Anywho. I know this is semi-political, but it is pretty big news, so I figured I'd put it in here. Uh, there will be a bipartisan task force appointed by House leadership to investigate the assassination attempt. So we have gotten sort of a possible roster of who is going to be on this. The group will include 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats, with Republican Representative Mike Kelly at the helm. On Monday, House leaders from both political parties announced that they had appointed 13 members to a newly formed bipartisan congressional task force to investigate the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The group included 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats, with GOP Rep. Mike Kelly at the helm. The creation of the task force was unanimously approved in the House last Wednesday. Its members will, quote, investigate and fully examine all actions by law enforcement at all levels of the government prior to, during, and after the shooting of former president in Butler, Pennsylvania, and issue a final report of its findings to the House not later than December 13th, 2024, including any recommendations for legislative reforms necessary to prevent future security lapses. Well, I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot of nothing get done. I mean, let's be honest, when I was back in the Benghazi times, when I thought that maybe, these presidential or these, congressional hearing things would actually work, uh, I was a bit naive. But I do have a political channel, Politically Mo, where we'll go deeper into this. The list of people that were picked were Mark Green of Texas, David Joyce of Ohio, Laurel Lee and Michael Watts of Florida, Clay Higgins from Louisiana, and Pat Fallon of Texas. Democrats picked Representative Jason Crow of Colorado, Lou Correa of California, Madeline Dean and Chrissy Houlihan of Pennsylvania, and Glenn Ivey of Maryland, also Jared Moskowitz of Florida. So I will say that this seems to be a much more balanced, as a C-SPAN nerd, this is a much more balanced and bipartisan group than did, let's just bring up, the J6, committee. So this is actually a committee that might, in theory, get something done. Now, I think that it will be out of pure self preservation, because some of these politicians in both the House and the Senate um, have future political ambitions, and I'm sure want to be able to depend on the Secret Service, possibly. I don't see this. I don't see us getting the full answers from any of these agencies. I expect this to be an amalgamation of, you know, different sources finally getting something out, and maybe in 4 or 5 years, we're gonna know what actually went on. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm a little jaded at this point. In our final story, I will say that congratulations to Simone Biles for bringing America back on top and capturing the gold in the Olympic team's finals. I will say that I haven't watched a whole lot of the Olympics this year, but as an older gymnast, she kicked behind, and way to go for her. Simone Biles dubbed this the redemption tour for the U.S. gymnastics team. Uh, the sport's most decorated star of all time delivered an electrifying bounce back performance Tuesday in Paris. Biles fronted the American squad to its third all around team gold medal in the past 4 Olympics, finishing off with a typically stellar and acrobatic floor exercise routine to rebound from a disappointing show 4 years ago in Tokyo. The U.S. squad took home silver in 2020, with Biles withdrawing mid competition due to a bout of the twisties and making the decision to take care of her mental health and physical health as well. Which, looking at it now, I will say that, that was probably a very brave decision to put her mental health to, uh, you know, realized that this was overwhelming and maybe it's not something that was good for herself at that particular time. And I know I was disappointed when she quit in 2020, but I think that looking back, to realize you're simply not going to be able to do something that you really want to do, or do it to the best of your ability, I think that was pretty brave, to be honest. Now, I will say I was totally pissed off, though, when she quit last time. Not the keyboard, harmony. The keyboard. Okay, or you could just lay down on the keyboard. That works too. So, I mean, I will say Simone has done a wonderful job. She is an incredible athlete, and I am just amazed at people that can do anything coordinated. Biles also suffered a minor calf injury on Sunday's qualifying round, but she participated in all 4 events Tuesday to lead returning 2020 teammates Suni Lee, Jordan Chiles, and Jade Carey, and 16-year-old newcomer Hazley Riviera to the podium. Italy won the silver medal, and Brazil took home the bronze, with the Americans outdistancing the field by 5.802 points. With luminaries such as Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Spike Lee in attendance, it marked the 5th career Olympic medal for the 27-year-old Biles, along with 1 silver and 2 bronze ahead of the individual events later this week. Her 8 Olympic medals are more than any American gymnast won more than even Shannon Miller from 1992 to 1996. Competing in her third consecutive Olympics, Biles is also a member of the gold medal squad in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2016. And thank you so much for the super chat, Brenda. The $5, I will definitely use those for cat treats. I made the mistake of getting the big bulk thing of cat treats and putting on top of my refrigerator. Well, the cats decided to knock it over and they had second breakfast of treats. So I need to remember to put those where they can't knock them over. Because as a cat superpower, knocking things over that are on the counter is what they do best. Let's see here. The podium finish also brought Biles' combined medal count in Olympic events and world championships to 38, the most ever for any gymnast. Biles is the oldest gymnast on an American women's team since 35-year-old Marie Margaret Hoseley in 1952, and Chills were the only member of the squads to compete in all four events: vault, uneven bars, balance beam, and floor exercise. Scores from qualifying did not carry over into finals, but the U.S. won the qualifying round by a convincing margin of 5.435 points. Three gymnasts from every team competed in each event, with all three scores counting toward the team's tally. 21-year-old Lee took home an individual all-around medal in 2020 in Tokyo, competed in three of the four events, all but the vault apparatus. Riviera, the lone first-timer, did not participate Tuesday, but earned her first gold medal by taking part in the qualifying round. Childs and Carey, in her lone event of the night, joined Biles in competing on the vault. Biles earned a 14.90 score with a slight hop on her landing of her Chang vault, which apparently is a round off onto the springboard with a half twist onto the table and then two more twists. Y'all, I swear to goodness, I can barely walk upstairs and not hurt myself. So I'm always really, really excited when people can do feats with their body, like do a handstand or a twisty thing. My mom's like, "That's a somersault, Mo." And I was like, "I know, I'm so proud of them." Let's see here. Uh, so everyone did a really great job. We won the gold again. It's gonna be great. I will say stay positive, even though the news may be crazier for the next couple months. I will still be here bringing you all of the absurdity. So we'll still have fun chatting with each other and bringing you these stories with headlines that make me question my sanity and whether I took the green pill or the blue pill in the Matrix, because I'm like, maybe I took both and that's what happened. I actually did not see the opening ceremony. I am going to be very honest with you guys. Me and my Kindle Unlimited have been getting reacquainted, so I am reading all of my terrible cotton candy for your brain, smexy romance like series, and I have basically been turning off the internet. Uh, Whichever one makes me awake, but then I remember that I won't have steak anymore. So, you guys, I will see you in the morning, and we will have mornings with Mo, and then around 1 o'clock, I have my hair gel ready. I'm working on my unearned but deeply held beliefs of martyrdom along with my oblivious self belief and entitlement. That's right. I will be doing a Sarah Boone read along of her new motions about 1 o'clock tomorrow. Since I have date night tomorrow and I don't have nightly newsy news, I will be doing a Sarah Boone-a-thon about 1 p.m. tomorrow, all things going well. So let's get ready for Sarah Boone. Again, I will be bringing out all the hair gel. I am not releasing you guys to anywhere specific. You are free to go to the internet wherever you would like to go. So have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys in the morning and have a great day or evening or morning or wherever you are. Bye, guys.